at the time I had a Class A CDL, which, you know.
Yeah, which is great to fall back on. You know, you can if this shit hits the fan, I can go get a job tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. No questions asked.
Yep.
So I quit my job, and dude, I'm telling you right now, it literally, I can feel it. I can feel it now because this is one of the scaredest I've ever been in my life.
Oh, absolutely.
And when I quit, hindsight's always 20/20. I was like, oh my God, I can't do just Kosmos. I got to start a food truck. So I started a food truck.
Yeah, tell me about that experience a little bit.
We had that food truck for 1 year. It's probably about a year and a half, truthfully. And we was ranked top 3 food trucks in the country. In 1 year. In 1 year. And I attribute that to I called it my Okie cheesesteak, which was chopped brisket, onions, peppers, cheese whiz. And I imported the rolls from Omaroska's in Philly.
Dude.
And we sold those motherfuckers. And then all of a sudden,
if that's wrong, I don't want to be right, old boy.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I've said it on my podcast. I've said it a lot of places, but I'll say it on your podcast. I'll put that motherfucker against anybody in Philadelphia. Anybody. I travel to Philadelphia quite a bit, and I've had some of their cheesesteaks, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like fucking try, try.
Yeah.
But as you know, it's easier to make one than it is, a 1,000. So. But with chopped brisket, man,
especially you get that right ratio of point and flat in there, so you get a little bit of that fatty.
Man, I put that whole damn brisket into the buffalo chopper, the whole damn thing, fat and all. And I'm gonna tell you right now, and then I would re-rub it,
Yep.
That right there is Flavor Train Express.
Yes, sir.
And I remember we sold, I think it was like $7,000 worth of them in like 4 hours.
God,
and I was like, oh my God, I got something here.
Yeah.
Well, little did I know, I'm a numbers guy.
Right.
I look at data.
Which is the way to run a business.
Yeah.
Take the emotion out of it.
Trust in God. Everybody else bring data. And that's my saying in the business. I don't care. I ran the numbers after I did that for a year. Oh my God. That food truck at the time brought in, it was way less than 10% of the overall revenue and took up about 90% of my time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, what would happen if I had 90% of my time back to focus on the business and drive it? So at the time I only had one employee, and I called him and I said, hey, man, what do you think about selling that food truck? He goes, what are we going to do? I said, we're going to put all of our time into Kosmos. And he goes, I love it. I was like, good. I said, we're going to do it. He goes, all right, I'll be there in a minute. And he already left for work. This is like 6 o'clock at night. I said, what do you mean you'll be here in a minute? He goes, I'm coming to clean that motherfucker out before you change your mind. So he came over and cleaned it out. We sold that truck within 2 weeks. And, obviously, I wish the rest was history, but the rest is history. And then after that, at the time, I think we was doing probably 600. I think we did about 600,000 that year.
Wow.
In total revenue.
Yeah, yeah.
The next year, 1.9 million.
All because you just changed the focus. You got the focus where it was supposed to be.
I let the data drive the decisions. And then I made that tweak. And
that's one of those things, too. Like, this podcast is built for entrepreneurs, just people in business, blue collar. Like, I think one thing to take from that is understanding your business, recognizing the data and appreciating the data, and being willing to make changes to grow and not let it be emotional. Let it be business, data-driven.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you've done some things, too, with the brand that I think are cool. I mean, one, the injections have always been amazing. You went from the powder to having, ready to go right out of the bottle, which I think is awesome. But the other one that I always thought was really intriguing was the wing dust.
Yeah.
To me, that was the first time I saw somebody come out in the market with something you could use post-cook. instead of pre-cook. And it's phenomenal. I mean, I remember when that Nashville Hot came out, man, we could not keep it on the shelves. It was like the talk of the town. Where did that idea come from? Was that just goofing around in the R&D lab, or where'd that come from?
The wing dust or the Nashville?
Both.
Okay, the wing dust, I was like, man, shit. Well, at the time, you couldn't, you had to go get Frank's.
Yep.
And then cut it with butter, and, it was just wings. And I thought, wow, why don't we have, like, garlic parm and salt and vinegar and shit like that. So I called my friend who's a food scientist. I said, hey, man, I got just hear me out, listen to me. And they said, that's fucking genius. That's fucking genius. So we started, I think we made about 5, which when we were testing at the time, we didn't have ghost pepper, but we wanted a hot one. So we did 7 pepper. And believe it or not, the rendition that is out there right now is like the 7th rendition, which it had nothing to do with the name.
Right.
It just has, 7 pepper.
Yeah.
Like the 7th rendition, but it is by far the least hot one. And it's still hot as shit. I was bombing people when we were testing that. I was like, hey, man, taste this, taste this, taste this. We'll save this one for last because
you ain't going to be worth a damn after this one.
You're done after this one. But then I went to Memphis in May. Mm-hmm. And somebody said, let's go to Hattie B's. And
no, Gus's.
We didn't go to Gus's.
Oh, you went to Hattie B's?
We went to Hattie B's. And we waited there for 6 years,
Yeah.
And then I got the mild, and I tasted it, and I was like, this is nothing against Hattie B's. I was like, I can do better than this. Hold my fucking beer. And I was sitting in Hattie B's, and I called my buddy. I said, hey, man, hear me out. Nashville Hot. And he goes, dude, I love it. I absolutely love it. Let me work something up. So he sent me something, and that was the first shot. 1 shot, 1 kill. And
guys, that does not happen in the seasoning business.
No.
That is, I mean, usually it's multiple iterations, but that is 1 shot, 1 kill.
1 shot, 1 kill. And Jesus Christ, like I was like, that's what hot chicken should taste like. Nashville hot chicken.
Yeah.
It's got some flavor. It's got some heat, just, and I don't know about you, but you could probably make as much money as Hattie B's if you parked a shitter trailer outside and just charge $5, and you throw a hole in there with a water hose.
Yeah.
Cause that was just too much grease for me.
It tears me up.
It's just too much grease for me. Well, this, you get all the flavor, all the heat without, just shitting yourself.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. And to me too, like what I like about that product is, I always say meaningful flavor. I don't like when things are hot.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of being hot. But when it's hot with flavor, or it's another layer of the flavor profile, I absolutely love it.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more.
It's awesome. But I always thought that was just one of those things that kind of came out of left field. Nobody had thought of. When you added it to the order sheet, I was like, oh, yeah, we got to get all this. And our customers absolutely loved it, especially when we would start demoing in class. Because I think that was probably your hardest thing to overcome with that product, was teaching people how to use it.
They didn't understand it. So what do you mean? I cook them with nothing
naked?
On there?
You don't cook wings naked?
And I'm like, yeah, I promise you, try it. Just try it. And the great thing is you can set up a wing bar, and you can use your my wife loves the garlic parm.
That is a damn good one.
I love the Nashville Hot. But somebody else may like lemon pepper, or So that's the great thing about it, is it's not just one wing for everybody. It's
Well, and what I liked about it too is, especially that can make it kind of fun. You're pulling 5 or 6 wings off the grill. Hey man, you're up.
Yeah.
You throw them in a bowl. Hey, pick whatever season you want. Toss them yourself. Because that was the other thing I was impressed with, was how well the seasoning actually sticks, especially hot off the grill. And just throw it in the bowl like you would if you were saucing them, and then just sprinkle that wing dust on and let it go. And man, it really has good coverage. I was impressed. It's one of the better barbecue products I've ever had.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, appreciate absolutely, that. Man, absolutely. And going through this evolution, where I think the difference changes for us is, a lot of people can set up a website, sell online, e-commerce comes around and gets stronger. But what was that first big retailer that called you or that you went out and hunted? Like to me, when we get to put our product on retail shelves, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, believe it or not, Academy was the first one that reached out to me. And I worked with Academy for a long time, and nothing ever came to fruition. But then I'll tell you who was the first guy, the first distributor that we went into was, his name just left my, Scott from Wichita.
Yep. Can't remember the name of the company, but I can see Scott right now.
Yeah, I know. He's going to kick shit out of me. But you know, they brought it in and they serviced at the time. They sold they were the distributor for Traeger's. At least Crawford Supply.
Crawford, yep.
Yeah. So that's what we did, and they brought me into their warehouse, and oh my gosh, like it just, you know, and then one more and one more and one more and more, you know, and it just snowballs from there.
Well, and the thing is, like those guys too, they were knocking on specialty barbecue doors, feed stores, like they're all over across the board. You're getting your stuff into a lot of different places, different eyes.
Where our people are every day. They shop there. You know, they're in there buying nuts, bolts, plumbing, electrical. You know, oh, what's this? You know, and it just made sense. It was a good fit, and it was a decision that I'm glad that they made. You know. So it was actually kind of funny because I'd been trying to get in there a long time, and I was at the National Hardware Show cooking, and Scott, I didn't know Scott at the time. Scott was in front of me, and he looked over to the person next to him. He goes, why don't we carry this? And the guy's like, well, you know, he emailed us and this, that, and the other. And I was like, I still emailed you. And Scott goes, you Cosmo? And I said, yeah, I'm Cosmo. And he goes, oh, okay. Yeah, we'll call you Monday. So, you know, it's just a funny story.
No, I love it. And it's those breaks, you know what I mean? And being able to get your product in, like you said, the places that our people, you know, blue collar folks shop and people that like to barbecue.